Good morning, everyone.
हरि ओम।
Shall we begin? Om. Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidparam. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gururadirabhischa Guru Paramadaivatam Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Na Guroradikam Tattvam Na Guroradikam Tapaha Tattvajnana Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Hari Om. Hari Om, everyone. Where are we? The Song of Realization. Um, so we were doing the Jivan Mukta Purusha, the glory of the knowledge, then the glory of the man of wisdom, and then the last few shlokas have been the, the theme of Nishtha, how the abidance in this knowledge, and what how that manifests itself practically. Now, the last verse we did was we still have fears. It said Navibeti Kutaschaneti. Then we still have fears, and the fears being, what about the sins I committed? What about the good I did not commit? What about all the papas and punyas? And that's where we left off. Where he said he does not worry about that because both of those he realizes are he uses that in fact to strengthen his nishtha, his abidance in this truth. So both papa and punyas do not tapati, they do not torment him like they will torment you and I. That was from the Taittiriya Upanishad, and it continues now with the most beautiful mantra in all the Upanishads, known as the Song of Realization. Now, I think Guruji humorously used to say that it's good to memorize this because when you do realize, then you don't have to pull out a book and say, what do I do now? So the Song of Realization goes as such. And it's mantra number 20, is it 21?
Yeah, 21.
Let's see if I can do it. Etat samagayanaste. I don't want to make a mistake here. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. Ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannadah. Ahagashloka krita aham asmi pradamajarutasya purvam devebhyo amritasya nabhai yo ma dadati sa ideva ma vaha aham annam adantamadmi aham vishvam bhuvanam abhyabhavam suvarna jyoti ya evam veda Upanishad. There's a lot to unpack here. Let me just get that chapter. So, etat sama gaya naste. So the man of wisdom, that Vidwan Purusha, he starts Gayan, he starts to sing. Now it says Sama, because Sama Veda is known for its beautiful lyrical meters. So Sama is used here to say that he sings in Sama, in the tune of the Sama Vedas, but Sama also means Brahma, according to Guruji. Sama also means Brahma because Sama means Sama. Sama means Shanti. Shanti means one who is peaceful and quiet and happy is the one who sings. So Sama means Brahman. Now let's unpack this. Ha, vuha, vuha. Now, I think in the commentary, Guruji says, when you see a play or you see a show and you're really, and you love what's going on, what do you say? Wah, wah, wah. But if you drop the wah, it becomes ah, ah, ah. That becomes an even deeper subjective expression of joy. It is a way of saying it's a sense of expressing wonderment. A beautiful sense of elation, he says, is beyond ecstasy. You go, ah, there's nothing else that can be said once this experience is gained. The point is, so we see a play or we see a show and you go, wow, or ah, or whatever joy we get in our life. Imagine the joy that I've lived, not just this life, but multiple lifetimes, thinking I was a miserable creature, subject to birth, growth, disease, decay, and death. Autobiography of every human being, over and over and over and over. And now I realized I am that infinite Brahman. How else would you express that ah moment, as it's called? Gurudev's commentary in Taittiriya Upanishad, I'm going to read it. Wonder is the sentiment that the human heart feels when the intellect comes in contact with a problem it cannot itself solve. The mute intellect, trying to express through a choked heart its burning experiences, is the expression of surprise and wonderment. This is nowhere so well expressed as it is in the Sanskrit words ha, vu. Since these onomatopoetic words clearly describe the particular sounds a man should make during such moments of irrepressible and staggering wonder. It is beyond ecstasy. It is, words fail you, and therefore it's just ha, ha. I think Updeshar was the one which Ramana Maharshi says, at that point you say ayyo, so it's okay. South Indian would be ayyo, North can say ha, ha. Ah, that's all it is. So that's the ha, ha. Now what does he say? If you take the literal definition of this verse, you'll be surprised. It won't make any sense. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. It says, I am food, I am food, I am food. Really? The next line says, Hamannado, hamannado, hamannada. I'm the eater of food, I'm the eater of food, I'm the eater of food. I know that. I know I eat well. But I am food, I am food, I am food. That's the first thing that comes to mind. What is he saying here? So when we say annam, aham annam, aham annam, aham annam, you're saying I am food, I am food, I am food. We will take combination of Gurudev's, Guruji's, and Shankara's commentary on this, because this was a difficult shloka to prepare for. So when we say annam, we think of only food. But in the bigger context, what it means is everything that we're able to perceive, everything that we see, smell, hear, taste, and touch, feel, and think is annam. And I think in the book, Guruji gives the example, don't you say it was a feast for my eyes. It was a musical feast. So there's always a feast for our organs of perception. So anything that is Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Sagandha falls in the category of annam. So now on realizing, he's saying, I am food, I am food, I am food. What is he saying? He's saying, I am the entire world of experienced objects, emotions, thoughts. The whole field of objects which we experience, the objects of experience is me. So annam, he says it 3 times. Aham annam, aham annam, aham annam. And Shankaracharya in his commentary says, these 3 refers to the waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. Everything that I experience is only possible in these 3 states. Waking state and my waking, whatever I perceive, feel, and think. Dream state in my dream world, and we'll come to that. And in my deep sleep state, even the avyakta, the unmanifest, is also an object of experience, and that is also known as annam. Shankaracharya goes on to further explain these 3 states also refer to everything in the world that we can perceive, which is gross, sthula, subtle, sukshma, and unmanifest, avyakta. All 3 represent the objects of experience, and that is annam. So he's saying, aham annam, aham annam, aham annam. I am the world of objects of experience. That is me. From the standpoint of Brahman now. Now he goes on to say, aham annado, aham annado, aham annada. So I am food. Now I am the eater of food. I'm the eater of food means what? Means that the eater of food is the one who is experiencing the food which is being eaten. So he's saying, as another, I'm the experiencer of the whole world of objects, emotions, and thoughts. All that is being experienced is done by an experiencer, and I am the experiencer of everything. So I'm another, I'm the eater of food. Now, if you take this, you and I experience only our little world in the waking state. I said last week, we all create our own worlds and we live in there. So when we do japa, our thoughts roam in there. In dream, we project even further. Now imagine this experience, which is experiencing all the world of objects, emotions, and thoughts, past, present, and future, of every being human, animal, and plant at the same time. That is the experiencer. That's the experience we are talking about. Now we say, how is that possible? And we do it on a daily basis. When I dream, okay, waking state, I observe and I experience everything that I experience by waking state. When I dream, in my dream, there are 50, 60 people. There are 30, 40 animals. Those 50, 60 people have their own stories and their own lives, and the animals have their own stories and lives. And I am the architect of those people's dreams in my dream. So on waking, what do I say? I was the experiencer of my dream in which there were 50 people and 30 animals. They had their own world of experiences, and I, as the waker solo, was the experiencer of all those experiences. So this, what he's saying is Annabha, this one Paramatma Tattva is manifesting, expressing as the Drashta, Drashya, as the seer and the seen. Jnata, Neya, as the knower and the known. Bhokta, Bhojya, as the enjoyer, enjoyed. Clear? On realizing, I am the objects of experience, I am the experiencer. Both. Third line. Ahagashloka krita, ahagashloka krita, ahagashloka krita. Shloka. What does shloka got to do with this? Shloka krita. I am the author of shlokas. I am the author of shlokas. I am the author of shlokas. Really? The shlokas being talked about here are they're the mantras of the Upanishads, all creative writing, all the scriptures, the smrutis, shrutis, Puranas, everything. What do these shlokas do? They point to us the relationship between the experiencer and the experienced. So shlokas here don't just mean the physical verses that we read, but it's saying I am the uniting factor. I bring together, I combine the experiencer with the experienced, the knower with the known, the seer with the seen, the enjoyer with the enjoyed. I enable this possibility of experience, knowing, enjoying, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, feeling. I'm the food. I'm the eater of the food. And I'm the one who brings the two together. Shloka Krita, Shankara's commentary. He says Shloka Krita has another meaning. One is I'm a uniter of the object and the subject. I bring the experiencer with the experienced to create experience. Agreed. But he says another definition of Shloka Krita is in order to get the experience possible, there has to be an assemblage of a body with pranas, with senses, to make it, and with Chetana to make it possible to experience. So Shloka Krita is this Sanghat. This Sanghat Krit, this assemblage of the body, which makes it possible for experience to happen. I am the creator of that. So Shloka Krita is I am the uniting factor between the experience and experienced. And Sanghat Krit, I create the assemblage of the body capable of experiencing. Are you all with me still? So Hamannam, 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 Hamannado, Hamannado, Hamannada, Ahagashloka Krit, Ahagashloka Krit, Ahagashloka Krit. So I'm the objects of experience, I'm the experiencer, and I create this uniting factor which enables experiencing. Now it says, Aham Asmi Prathama Jagritasya. Ratam means gross. Anratam means subtle. So he's saying that Aham Asmi Prathama Ja born, Prathama first. Before everything that came here, gross, subtle, and manifest, Prathamaja, I am the firstborn. If you remember self-unfoldment, Brahman expressing through Avyakta Purusha is Ishvara. Brahman expressing through the total mind is anyone?
Hiranyagarbha.
Hiranyagarbha. And Brahman expressing through the total bodies is the gross?
Virat.
Virat Purusha. Perfect. So he's saying, I'm the firstborn Hiranyagarbha of Rita. All the Ritas, all the gross and all the subtle which were born, I was the firstborn Hiranyagarbha. Brahman with his Maya Shakti, Avyakta is Ishvara, and then through the total mind is Hiranyagarbha. I am that. So first comes the total mind. From the total mind, then comes all the individual minds, all the names, all the forms, all the gross, the subtle, everything comes. And he's saying, I'm the firstborn. Now imagine on realizing this truth, what comes to your mind is, I'm the firstborn. From me emerged every gross, subtle manifestation on the planet. Purvam devebhyo amritasya nabhai. Purvam devebhyo. I came before all the gods. Now, when you go before BBC and someone asks you, Hinduism believes in many gods, please don't say yes. Purvam devebhyo. I came into existence before all the gods. Now, let's discuss what gods mean. From the total mind, Hiranyagarbha, came all the phenomenal forces, came all the names, the forms, nature, the 5 elements. Prithvi, Jala, Vayu, Agni. Akash. Each of them has each force of nature has their own presiding deities. Each presiding deity is known as a Devata. There are thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Devatas. Maybe one of us was a Devata in our previous incarnation. So before all these presiding deities of nature came to enforce the laws of nature, I was there. Purvam Devebhyo, I came before all the gods. Which means we've now gone down from Brahman manifesting in gross form is Virat Purusha. I am Virat Purusha, that gross form from which all these gods emerged. Amritasya na bhai. Bhai does not mean brother. Amritasya na bhi. Nabhi. Nabhi means locus, center. I am the center of immortality. What does that mean? The very nature of Paramatma is immortal. When I come to know Paramatma, my nature becomes, I assume the nature of Paramatma, I become immortal. One who realizes me becomes Amritam, immortal. Now, when it says Nabi, center, there's a reason for that. By saying I'm the center of immortality, it's saying it's like the spokes of a wheel. I'm the very center from which everything else is measured and remains finite. The center is dimensionless, immeasurable, and immortal. Everything around may change. The center does not change. So Amrita Swarupa is indicated here. Purvam Devebhyo Amritasya na bhai. Now comes a really interesting part. Yoma dadati sa ideva ma vaha. Yo ma dadati. Whoever gives me food. Sa ideva ma vaha. Avaha. So now avatu protects. Whoever gives me food protects me and I protect him. What does that mean, people? Whoever gives me food protects me, worships me. Yo ma dadati sa ideva ma vaha. The whole theory of dharma is given in this one statement here. How to live a beautiful life. That what you have, you must give to others. Give food to the hungry, clothes to the needy, shelter to the needy. Give your time, give your money. Give, 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 give. People asked Swami Vivekananda, how much should I give? He said, give until it hurts. And then give some more. Give, give, give. That is what the theory of dharma is. And this clearly says here, Yo ma dadati sa ideva ma vaha. One who gives to others is worshipping me. I protect them. Gurudev's pledge, we ratified it and repeated mechanically. Produce more than we consume, give more than we take. Yo ma dadati sa ideva ma vaha. Produce more than you consume, give more than you take. In fact, Shankara's commentary, he says, Annam should never be sold. Food should never be sold. Wow, what a statement. The biggest industry on the planet is food. Fine dining, 200 pounds per head. Little samosa here, here, here. They paint the plate. You come back and you want a sandwich when you're done. We've all done it. You come back and you want a falafel after spending 200 pounds per head. So annam should never be, and annam is something you should give freely, daily, to whoever you can. Whoever gives is protected, and not just, again, annam means the broader context, helping others with whatever they need. Yo ma dadati sa ideva ma vaha. It also says in Shankara's commentary that food should never be sold and knowledge should never be sold. Vedas cannot be sold. It is priceless. And how do you protect knowledge? You protect knowledge by giving knowledge. That's a very interesting one. And what has the Guru given to us? He has given us God. He has given us Brahman. This knowledge can only be protected by giving. It cannot be protected by binding it up in several silk saris, tying it up firmly, and putting it on the shelf, and then prostrating it to it daily, which we are very, very adept at doing. Yo ma dadati sa ideva ma vaha. He protects me when I give liberally to him. To him means to everyone who's in need. Now comes an interesting one. Aham annam annam madan. Aham annam annam madan tamadmi. Admi, I eat. One who does not do that, I eat him. The one who selfishly eats everything, hoards everything, enjoys everything in this own little bubble, me, my wife, my children, acquires, possesses, aggrandizes, hoards, keeps it to himself, does not share, I eat him. Many ways. Anna rupena, as food, I eat him. You overindulge in foods you should not eat, quantities you should not eat, that becomes poison. I eat him. He thinks he's eating food. Brahman says, I'm eating him. So those who only cook for the words of the Bhagavad Gita, those who only cook for themselves and eat themselves, that's not just food. Again, the broader context of Annam, who enjoy only themselves, are eating papam. Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 verse 13. Bunjate tu agam papam ye pachanti atma karna. Sinful ones who cook for their own sake verily eat but sin. So the whole theory of dharma is placed here. Next line. Aham Vishwam Bhuvanam Abhyavavam. Aham Vishwam. Vishwam Bhuvanam. Now, Bhuvanam means most worshipful. Vishwam means the entire universe. Abhyavavam, I conquer. Interesting. I overpower. I conquer. Vishwam Bhuvanam, this entire worshipful universe, I overpower it. It is under my control. This whole universe. And you say, how? How does he control the entire universe? Definition of Brahman is Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat. Just focus on Sat. Sat is existence. In this world, in this universe, nothing can transgress existence and still exist. If you transgress existence, you don't exist. So by the existence principle itself, I control everything. Abhyabhavam, I have conquered everything. They're all under my control. And in case you're still not sure, it says, Suvarna Jyoti. As the light in the sun, I am the Chaitanya Swarup which enlivens everything. So either as Sat or Chaitanya, I control everything. And by definition, therefore, Ananda. The light of the sun always shines 24/7, 365. We may see it or not see it because of clouds or because of night, but the light of the sun is always there. So it's saying, I am the nature of pure consciousness which knows no rise or fall. It's constantly there. Aham Vishwam Bhuvanam Abhyabhavam Suvarna Jyoti Ya Evam Veda. One who knows the truth in this way, as explained from mantra number 1, a qualified student approaching a teacher, duly respectful, serving him, understanding that that Brahma Swarup, Atma Swarup is me. The self of all is the self in me. The self in me is the self of all, both ways. Ya evam Veda iti Upanishad. This is known as Upanishad. Upanishad Shabdena Vidya Uchate, which means Upanishad means knowledge, knowledge means self-knowledge, self-knowledge means Brahma Vidya, Brahma Vidya means Brahman. So many people listen to this verse and say, I'm food, I'm the eater of food, and then I experience everything. I'm afraid of this moksha. This moksha is a little difficult. I'm not sure I'm interested in this moksha because I'm afraid of moksha. And Gaudapada Acharya calls this Abhaya Bhaya Darshinaha. People see fear in fearlessness because you still see it as something other. In this, there is no otherness. Because of it, there's duality, but in it, there is no duality. There's no question of being afraid of it. That's the song of realization. So I'm the objects of experience. I'm the experiencer. I'm the one who brings the subject and the object experiencer together. Shloka Krita. I was the first born who manifested as Hiranyagarbha, the total mind. I came before all the forces of nature, all the presiding deities. I'm the very center of immortality, Amritasya Nabhai, the one who gives food to the deserving or the hungry one, protects me, which means he worships me rightly. The one who keeps hoarding and enjoying, that destroys him. I am in control of the entire universe as Sat, as Chaitanya. One who knows me in this way, Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati, verily becomes Brahman. This is a hard verse, but it's the most beautiful verse. Ha-vu, ha-vu, ha-vu. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. Ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannadah. Ahagashloka krita, ahagashloka krita, ahagashloka krita. Aham asmi pratmajarutasya. Purvam devebhyo amritasya nabhai. Yo ma dadati sarideva ma vaha. Ahamannam mannamadantamaadmi. Aham Vishwam Bhuvanam Abhyabhavam Suvarna Jyoti Ya Evam Veda Ityupanishad. Hari Om. This is also in the Taittiriya Upanishad. The last mantra of the Taittiriya Upanishad is the song of realization. Any thoughts? Questions? Anyone? I've spoken for 40 minutes straight. I'm tired. Anyone else?
Can I clarify a discrepancy? That's in my mind, probably, rather than the actual scripture. It's just that in this verse it says, I am the firstborn of the truth. So is that applying being created at that point, or whatever point?
So please repeat the question.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. It's probably me not trying to explain myself. So in this verse, it says, I am the firstborn. Where is it? Where it mentioned Nabi, you know, that bit, that sentence. Yeah, so is that implying that there is a point of creation, that we are created, or? The reason I'm asking this because I'm just kind of trying to read shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita, and there Krishna says clearly that the soul is not created at any point. So I'm just trying to clarify this.
There are cycles of creation, which is infinite. So there is a cycle of creation, preservation, and it dissolves. It's called pralaya. And there's another cycle of creation. So he's referring to whenever this cycle of creation came about, he was there before that.
Okay.
But they're always cycles. There was a Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. But we are not actually ever really created. Is that right? As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2.
In theory, we are all immortal. And this is simply a manifestation of that immortality. It's like saying, when was my dream born? And the answer is, it really wasn't. It was just a projection of my mind in my dream state. And the next day, the cycle of dream is born. So when I realize I'm the waker, all the dreams I've ever seen were all just figments of my imagination, projections of my own mind. And the question itself becomes almost ludicrous to say, when was your dream born? When I realized that the dream was nothing but a projection of my mind.
Thank you.
Vijayaji has got this wry smile about that she understands everything.
The wry smile is because I need to go and do a lot of reading to understand.
I think the smile on your face is more kind of smile.
Suresh, I have a question.
Please.
I don't know, it may not be relevant. I'm just trying to figure out, where is the Ishvara level addressed in this verse? The Brahman is it?
It's not directly. You're right. It's not directly. Yeah. It goes straight to Hiranyagarbha, but at the unmanifest level, it's implied.
Right.
Because he says, I was there even before. I was even before. And I am that Suvarna Jyoti. He even says, I am that Brahman itself. So it's implied, but it's not explicit.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Explained it so beautifully. I didn't realize the depth of this. Thank you very much.
No, I've heard it many, many times, but until studying this, it was for the whole week, this one. But I loved it.
So just can you explain the last comment from Gaudapada about fear and fearlessness?
Yes.
You did comment about Gaudapada's comment on fear and fearlessness just a couple of minutes back.
Gaudapada said, Abhaya Bhaya Darshinaha. Abhaya Bhaya Darshinaha. People have, they have darshan of fear in fearlessness. What he means is that people are afraid of fearlessness. Now, what does that mean? People are afraid of moksha because they don't understand what it entails. Even in meditation, some people sit and they lose body consciousness. The mind becomes very, very calm and they get frightened. You go to a Mauna ashram, those who've gone to Vipassana and all those, and you sit quietly, after a while, your mind plays games, you get scared. You're not prepared. So we have a tendency to seek fear even in fearlessness. That's what Gaudapada is trying to say. And the conclusion is, in Paramatma Tattva, there is no Dvaita. Dvaita is enabled by Brahman. It exists in Brahman, but in Brahman there is no Dvaita. If there's no Dvaita, there is no other. If there's no other, there is no question of fear. Abhayam pratishtham vindate. You become established in fearlessness, and when that happens, athaso abhayam gato bhavati. When you become established in fearlessness, you go to fear. You become fearless. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Gaudapada. Abhayam darshinaha. People have darshan of fear in fearlessness. That's what he means.
Thank you.
End, which he keeps emphasizing, end result of realization is one thing. Abhayam. Fearlessness. And when I asked him, what does nishtha mean? He said, when a mountain of sorrows hits you, you do not even shake. Any other thoughts? How many of you have done Taittiriya Upanishad? No?
No, not me.
It's the most beautiful text, very practical. So a lot of shlokas Guruji has chosen is from the Taittiriya and Mundaka. And if you reflect on these, even the last few lines about the theory of dharma, that in itself is fascinating. Yo ma dadati saideva ma vaha. Aham mannam adantabmi. That if you don't give, it eats you. And if you reflect on how true that is, the greatest joy comes from giving. The greatest successes come from those who give. And those who hoard, either health reasons, they've just eaten too much or eaten the wrong things, food eats them. Yo ma dadati. That's the most important thing I take away. Give liberally. Another thought that came to mind was people say, I'm going to do seva. I went to the mission, I went to the temple, and I did seva. I served for an hour. I did something in the bookshop. Maybe I cleaned the ashram. Maybe I gave some donation. When you're wiping the butt of your grandchild or your child, do you go and tell the whole world, I did seva? No. A, because no one cares. And B, because you don't think it's seva. It's second nature. It's your duty. You do it out of pure love. So when you're able to serve without saying, I did seva, That becomes seva. Not wanting any recognition, not because if you want recognition, you're doing it out of, it's called social service, which is good, but it's not seva. So this classification, Yoma Danati Sarideva Mahavaha, is done out of pure love. And then it becomes worship of Brahman. And then he says, I protect you. Lots of stuff can be taken out. These are powerful verses that we need to reflect on daily. Any other thoughts? Yes, teacher.
Bit of a personal thing, but I feel as if I hoard. But I hoard because I have a daughter who's on the Asperger spectrum, etc. And one of my biggest fears is what will happen to her after I'm not there. So I suppose I hoard to make sure that she's got a roof over her head, etc., etc., etc. And so at what point does it become hoarding, and at what point does it become irresponsible to give everything you have, so that you're not doing what your duty?
There's no universal answer. It's subjective to each individual's, and in your case, you can argue your service to your daughter is your worship of God. You were given that field in which to express your love and devotion and worship of the Lord. And that in itself is a very powerful ashram that you're in, which few people can even relate to. So I don't think you should feel that because you haven't served the whole community out there, you are in any way shortchanging yourself. The primary dharma is to do your own duties, and to the extent possible, you give. There's a person at our university who 2 days ago, I've got his WhatsApp here. Hariam Sureshji was thinking of some financial support I can give to CVV. I would like to contribute 10,000 rupees per month from my salary as donation. I know it is not at all enough in terms of larger funding needs that we have, but whatever small that I can at this point, for now, I will continue to give the amount for a year and then revise after 1 year. I've got everything in my life because of the abundant grace of Pujya Gurudev. This is my Guru Dakshina to him. Would like to keep this confidential. You see how confidential I've kept it. I haven't given his name anyway. Hope that is okay. I immediately responded, Hari Om, the thought and motive is commendable and Guru's blessings are with you. But you are young and supporting your whole family. He's taking care of his mother, his father, his brother. His brother's also handicapped. And he doesn't make that much. Start with a smaller amount and increase next year. What amount should I start with? I said start with 5,000 rupees a month. I didn't say don't give. Once he's expressed the desire, give, but within your capacity. And this will multiply 100-fold. I have no doubt about it. But it's the motive behind an action that always matters. It's never the action. So each one in their own way, when you keep these principles of dharma in mind and live our lives, that's more important than what we actually do. But as we follow dharma, the Lord will guide us as to what is right, what is too much, what is too less. To the extent possible, give. Not just money, but whatever you have. Your time, your energy, a meal to the hungry, whatever it may be. Yes, Anu?
There's this story that Swamini Supriyananda told us one time, and it always stuck with me. I mean, she said it very beautifully. I don't know if we have time. I can tell the short version.
Sure.
Basically, it was Krishna and Arjuna in the forest, and they were, looking for food. They were lost somewhere, and they went to somebody's house and begged for alms. And there was a man, and he had abundance of food and riches, and he basically made them. He sat them down and ate in front of them, and said to them, "You're beggars. Why have you come to this house?" And basically sent them away with nothing. So as they left, Krishna said, "May he be blessed with double and triple of his riches." So Arjuna said, "What are you doing? Like, he's been so terrible to us." So he didn't answer. And then they walked along the forest, and they came across a very poor man's house, and he only had a cow and he had nothing, but he welcomed them in and milked the cow, gave them some hot milk, and whatever he had, he shared, and made them sleep in his house. So as they left the next morning, Krishna said, "May he lose his cow." So Arjuna was absolutely horrified and shocked and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, the cow is the only thing between me and him. And once the cow is gone, he's mine, and I will give him everything."
A beautiful story. I've heard of different versions.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It's 10 o'clock. If there are no questions, should we do the Gita Panchamrit to keep the culture going? Shloka number 1. Sunita ji, okay. Shloka number 2. Jessica, 3. Meena, 4. 4. Amrita, 5. Anu, you'll take 5? No? Okay, Anu, you take 4. Amrita, can you take 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. What?
उत्तरेतात्मनात्मानं नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भुः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि
यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्
Ananyas-chintasyanto mam ye janan paryupasate tesyam nityabhiyuktanam yogakshivam yaham vaham.
Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarvapapebhyah mokshayishyami ma shuchah.
Thank you all very much. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Harihi Om. Thank you all very much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh.